Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is Michael Grafstein. Welcome to my Mike Grafstein Hypnosis channel. And today I'm going to continue on with what we've been talking about, hesitation, return to play after you've been cleared for a concussion. So the other day we talked about meeting expectations, and probably a week or so ago or a little longer before that, we talked about regaining your identity. Who am I? So today what we're going to talk about is letting teammates down. So one of the things that I have found in the clinic and working with athletes that are out, regardless if it's a concussion or a major repair, a knee repair, ACL, whatever, one of the biggest things that I find is they get very caught up in letting their teammates down. They actually feel guilty because they got injured. They want to get back to play. They're hesitant. They've been cleared, but they still feel guilty. So we do know there are many types of therapy out there. There's a lot of different types of talk therapy, and these are really good to get things going, to get things out into the open, and possibly a way to deal with the guilt. Now, from a hypnosis perspective, what we do is we can address that feeling, and we can take the sting away from that feeling. So what we look to do is, instead of allowing that feeling to creep back in, we get to a place where we guide you or your athlete or your child to a place where there's no longer any guilt, but they're looking forward to seeing what they can do to help with their teammates. In other words, a very strong visualization of how they are doing so much better, how strong they are, how powerful they are, and how that is contributing to, not just for themselves, but how that is contributing to the rest of their teammates. Because let's face it, we can talk about stuff until we're blue in the face, but until we actually put in our mind, put in our picture, put in our movie, create the movie that we want, and add the feeling, which seems to be the key point missing from a lot of other ways to help with this. When we combine seeing what you want to achieving your goal, contributing to your teammates, and putting the steps in, feeling the steps. And I've said this before, when you're feeling each of the steps, seeing yourself doing each of the steps, now seeing yourself contributing, not just for yourself, but definitely for your team, that will allow you to go back with a more positive feeling, without that hesitation. Because when you train that over and over and over and over again in your mind, what you're doing is you're changing your inside picture of what you see, of what's going to happen in front. And the thing is, what was really important, it has to come from you. Like, somebody can tell you, well, picture this, you're doing this and doing it really well. That's fine. But the key is, what does that look like to you? You have to come up with that own vision. So if you're returning from a concussion and you've had this fear of letting down your teammates, what would you want to have happen instead? What would that look like? So instead of letting down your teammates, perhaps you want to look at it from a perspective that when you go back, you're doing things either on the ice, on the court, or even if you're in gymnastics, what are you doing on the beam? You're showing inside your mind a different picture, a different outcome, a different result. And it is a positive one, something that is less than negative, not negative at all. And the key is, again, is that visualization with the emotion, the positive emotion. And again, repeating that over and over and over and over and over again allows the brain to say, oh, I'm coming back, I'm going to do great. This is normal. And it becomes almost like it's normal to expect to get to that level, to get to the level where you are contributing again, and your teammates notice it, your coaches notice it, and your parents notice it. And again, I will repeat this. It is so very important to have the picture in your mind, that you are doing something positive as compared to what has happened in the past. And again, repetition over and over again, not just seeing it, but feeling it, seeing the steps you need to take, seeing yourself taking those steps, putting the emotion, putting the feeling into it over and over again, and then allowing yourself to feel what it's like after you have done that. Perhaps in your mind, you can hear your teammates saying, "Way to go, great pass." Or you can hear your coaches, "Great to have your back. You're just where you were. You're even doing better." Who knows? I don't know your situation, but the key thing is, if you are going to do visualization, which I highly recommend, highly suggest, please make sure you put in the emotions, because that is what is going to change for you. Because your brain now is going to see you succeeding, and it's going to feel it. And as we know, sometimes the brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. And that's why it's so important to do the best that you can do to imagine a positive outcome. So again, remember, with the visualization, know the steps you need to take, put the emotions with it, know the outcome you want to receive, put the feeling with it. You combine the two, taking the steps and the final outcome with emotion, chances are you're going to be incredibly successful on your return to play after being cleared from having a concussion. And don't take my word for it, just do it. I'm Michael Wolf Grafstein, and I want to thank you for taking time to listen to what I have to say. And the last thing I will say is, the next thing we're going to talk about is hesitation and fear of re-injury. And if it's from a concussion, it's a pretty big to-do thing. I know, having over 10 concussions and not receiving the help that I really needed at that time. And that is one of the main reasons why I am doing this, because I am filling a gap. Again, Michael Wolf Grafstein, thank you very much for your time. And please feel free to add any comments, any questions below. And if there's anything else you would like me to talk about. Bye for now.